Hello folks, it's me again, Waifu Belector, the only fair human on earth, and PlayStation might be fucked. I'm just gonna say it. Not fully fucked to the point of complete failure or anything, obviously, because that's just virtually impossible in the here and now. But they are in a fucked up situation. Some things appear to be coming apart at the seams, so let's just get right into it. And we've of course got to start with the now long-running PlayStation Live service plan. We all know PlayStation has had this initiative to get into the multiplayer live service market in a meaningful way, and over the last few years we've been seeing their offerings to further that endeavor, but it hasn't been going well and almost nothing has worked. They've had one success, Helldivers 2, and like 3 or 4 failures, but they're cooking up more. They're still going, they're still trying. And I'm not one of the people who revels in these failures or tries to push narratives to make sure they happen. I don't have a weird hatred of everything live service or anything like that. I just want good games, and I'm also relaying the way things have shook out. And the fact is that the live service plan isn't going well. But as I said, PlayStation's got more multiplayer live service games on the way, and as you might have guessed from the thumbnail and the opening lines of this video, those upcoming games are seeing some trouble. Starting with the one coming the soonest, Marathon. Now at the gameplay reveal of Marathon, I talked about the hardships this game was already gonna face and how it was gonna be an uphill battle. Everybody in games media hates live service. Live service is especially hated from PlayStation, and Marathon is a premium title with a currently undisclosed price tag at the time of this recording. With all that, things were already gonna be hard for these guys, but it wasn't impossible to succeed. I still believed that they'd be okay, at least for a while. If they were gonna fail, it might have been a slower burn at the very least, and not the fucking nuclear failure of something like Concord. But that's if Marathon had failed. Like I said, I was still optimistic that they would be okay. However, we've now entered a new era. A brand new debacle has showcased itself because the Marathon art team at Bungie was caught stealing someone's art for their game. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, man. Come on. Bungie is begging for their game to fail. And you know, Bungie has probably had Sony facepalming non-stop since they acquired them. But yeah, art from a digital artist named Anti-Real has been plagiarized and repurposed for Marathon without consent, compensation, or even acknowledgement, as pointed out by Anti-Real themselves. And this was admitted by Bungie. And they put out a whole statement where they looked sad and defeated, and they said they wanted to do right by Anti-Real, whatever that may end up being. It was just all a terrible look. And you know what? It's actually really funny because after the gameplay reveal, when I talked about the game, while I didn't rag on the gameplay or anything, I did go out of my way to single out the art and aesthetics and say how cool they were. A little while later, they've ruined my compliment. And you know what? This happens a lot. The theft of digital art made by lesser known artists to then be used in a big game or whatever. It's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay. And yeah, we should try to call it out where we can. But it happens a lot. It's happened to Call of Duty, League of Legends, Destiny. So again, not looking so good, Bungie. Kinda looking like a habit. But my point is, a lot of these teams have a bunch of people and employees on art and design teams. All it takes is one guy to steal some art and put it into the game for it to then look like your entire team stole everything. And yes, you can implement more thorough checks to make sure things aren't being plagiarized, but when you think about every tiny little aspect and minute detail going into some of these games, it's kinda impossible to be that rigorous with everything. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I don't know though, I'm just saying that's one side of the coin that could be the case, and that's certainly what Bungie has said. It was one person who did it and we fired them now. But they didn't say who, so you know, kind of blaming it on a shadow. And like I said, that's one side of the coin that could have been the case. On the other hand, maybe the folks at Bungie are just a bunch of plagiarist losers passing off other people's work as their own. That can be the culture over there, and maybe they just got caught. It's a possibility. Or like I said, it could have been an individual ruining the chances of everyone involved to ship a successful game. We just don't know. I don't know the truth and likely never will. The fact is though, that regardless of the details of the situation, this looks horrible and will negatively affect the game. Their only hope that this doesn't have a significant negative effect on Marathon is banking on the short memories of players. People move on very fast from a lot, and come September when this game releases, will people even remember this? Only time will tell. But people also love a good old-fashioned fall from grace, and they love to be a part of it for some reason. And since Bungie and Marathon seem to just be snowballing downward into hell, people might pay extra attention to that so that they can be a part of the crowd that laughs and kicks failed Bungie when they eventually hit the ground. It's tough to gauge, but like I said, I already thought this game was gonna have a hard time. Now I'd be downright surprised if they didn't have a hard time at launch. At best, I see them maybe having a slow build to a stable player base, but we'll see. Maybe everyone will just forget and they'll be okay. We will fucking see. Unfortunately though, that's not even all. It's just the biggest and nearest issue for PlayStation. PlayStation also have their multiplayer heist game Fair Games by Haven Studios in the works, and that seems to be going nowhere fast. Not only has it allegedly been internally delayed, but the executive who founded Haven Studios, Jade Raymond, left the company shortly after the game's first external playtest. Just Jesus Christ, man. Shit is crumbling over there. And I never had high hopes for Fair Games, but I thought that it would at least get out of the door. And now it looks like it might end up in development hell. Another sour note for the live service plan. And we can add that just yesterday, it was announced that PlayStation is ending its rewards program, PlayStation Stars. So the hits just keep coming, man. And you know what? They were always weird about PlayStation Stars anyway. I'm gonna be honest. It always felt like they didn't want people to use it. They didn't want people to know it existed or redeem whatever points you may get from your purchases, because you couldn't even interact with PlayStation Stars through the PlayStation itself. You'd have to have the PlayStation app and redeem points through there. It was so weird and hidden and off to the side. It always felt like they didn't want to do it. So it's not that surprising that it probably failed at whatever they hoped it would do, maybe drive traffic to the app or something, I don't know. And it's not surprising that they're ending it. But yeah, whatever. As you can see, PlayStation's kinda in a fucked up jumble over there right now. I'm sure they'll eventually get themselves out of it, but the cleaning up likely ain't gonna be so pretty. At this point, the only hope for a W in terms of the live service plan is the upcoming Horizon multiplayer game. I personally do really hope that game is good. I really want to enjoy it. I like the Horizon franchise, but I'm sure PlayStation hopes that game is good way more than I do. We'll see what happens though. Summer Game Fest is right around the corner. Maybe we'll get a reveal or something. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to quickly chat about the mess that Marathon, Bungie, and PlayStation find themselves in. Just wanted to acknowledge it and share some thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you or were you planning to check out Marathon? How do you feel about the plagiarism? Did you remember that Fair Games existed? All of that, whatever's on your mind. And remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more good gaming talk. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I'm just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I don't like plagiarism. Goodbye.